Hi there, and welcome to Tuesday Talk. It's that time of the week again. So I'm streaming on StreamYard, and I'm streaming live on my YouTube channel, Tuesday Talk, and also on my Facebook page, which is Statement Designs. So if you're new here and you pop on, I would love to meet you. So go ahead and give me a shout out and we'll say hello. So, and if you are not new here and you pop on, I always ask for a little bit of reinforcement that my volume is working. So, um, we're talking about Dopamine Decor again this week. So, if you follow along, oh, you know what? Let me hit the show comments because we might not be seeing them if they are. Okay. So every other Wednesday, I go on a local TV show, and it's called Studio 814, and it's Workshop Wednesday is the segment that I do. So I kind of piggyback off of Tuesday Talk, and we're going to be talking about Dopamine Decor on the show. And so the last 2 weeks, or this week and last week, we talked about it. So I'm going to review some of the projects that I did, and we're going to do some new ones, and we'll go from there. So I'm going to put my camera down. I don't have anybody on yet. It looks like somebody's on. So see if I can get rid of that. Okay, well, if you pop on, say hi, and I'm going to go ahead and start reviewing some of the things that we worked on last week and where we're at with things, because I didn't really finish them. We were fooling around with clay last week. So let's look at some of those projects. First of all, if you remember, we did this little vase. And it looks a little different than it did before. I'm going to switch the camera and show you this way. But that's what it turned out like. And I'll be putting some flowers in it. Hey, Gretchen, have my son to inspect dopamine for his ADHD brain. Okay, good. He can let me know how I did. So this is the wall pocket that I did. And I'm going to test that new little tool that I showed you. So we're going to put a little hanger on the back of it. So these are in my way too, so I can't wait to get to this. But let me get it out of the way for a minute. They're sticky. So I have a little piece of wire that we're going to hang this with. And the tool that we're going to test is this UV resin glue, okay, with the cool little thing that cures it, okay? So I'm going to put gloves on, though, because anytime I work with resin, I like to be safe. So I hope you're doing well. Our weather is not great yet, but we had sun today. You know, we had that situation last week where we had the 70-degree weather and then the snow. Just crazy. But anyway, here we are, no snow, and it's getting better. So what I'm going to do is put this wire on the back, make sure we have it the right way. I'm just going to lay this on here, and I'm just, assuming that this is going to work. You know what they say about assuming. Okay, we'll just do one at a time. I'm just putting a healthy little glob on there, and then we'll cure this one. Okay, so we've got the UV light on it. And I think it says 3 to 5 seconds, but, better safe than sorry. I'm going to do a little more. Now that has a little bit of odor to it. Okay, let's try the other side here. Oops, that was flatter, but that's okay. Yeah. Can't get the thing to slide, and then I want to look into it. Come on. There we go. Oops, that's not down in there. I might have to put a little bit more on the top of this because it popped out. Boy, that does cure up right away. I'm just going to put a little bit more on the top of that. Like I said, it has a little bit of a smell. That one looks good over there. I don't like to, get a whole lot of fumes going in the basement here, but I think we're okay. Any chance you could move a little to your left? Yes. Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Yeah, I have streaming both ways, but yeah, if you're watching it that way, then so you're watching it on YouTube and it's vertical? Interesting. But thanks for telling me because I keep that little preview screen up and then I forget about it. So I'm so used to looking at the landscape one. Okay, so I'm going to assume again that worked. And it's on there pretty good. So that's going to be my little hanger. So maybe I should have hung it a little bit lower. Well, you know what? I'll worry about that later. For now, I'm going to leave it as is. Okay, so that's one project that we did. Then let me show you another one. So if you remember, we did the egg tray. Now, if I can get it in that left side there we go. Boy, it's tough to center it. Okay, but this is the little egg tray that we did. And we formed it over the styrofoam egg. We rolled out air dry clay and then formed this over the styrofoam egg container. So we have both sides. So what I did was let it dry and then I painted it. And then I used little napkins. I just cut out, like fussy cut the little napkin designs. And then I used Posca markers and made this little scallop around the edge. And then I even used some of the Lell's gold luster, Lell's luster around the edges. So I think this one's really cute. This would be great for your, hey Dar, this would be great for your Easter eggs or your jewelry. And I know these are on a card, but I want you to see these. These were those little clay earrings. Remember I had that little thingamabob that gave it dimension? Well, I used this UV resin glue and attached the flowers to these little jewelry findings. So anyway, it's a good little trinket box there for jewelry as well. So that's project number 2. Ooh, dog's going nuts over something up there. Okay. Alrighty. I have some more of these ready to go. I have so much jewelry that I'm working on. It's insane. But anyway, yeah, I think the tray turned out cute. And Dar, I know you just got here, so I'm going to go back and show you. This is the little, there we go. This is the little wall pocket that I did. So I painted that out in peacock, and then I used Posca pens and put little daisies on it. So I think that one turned out kind of cute too. So that's a couple projects. And then if you remember a while back, not this week, but quite a while back, I did this little trinket dish. But I wanted to show you again because I sealed these. And the product that I used is this. It's polyurethane. It's extreme protection, eco-friendly polyurethane high gloss. clear gloss. And I'll tell you what, it really does not smell. I was surprised. So I liked it, and I'll probably use that instead of UV resin to seal some projects in the future. But I like the sheen that it gave, nice and shiny. So happy with that. And then there's one other project, and I did seal this one up too. And I think I'll put the camera up to show you this one. But it's this little flower pot that we put the scallops on. I painted it in flamingo and then added some blue, I forget what color, around the top, and then again used the Posca markers. So that's that. And so now let's put the camera down here. Now we're going to do a couple picture frames. These are in my way and really bugging me. So I did not put the lid on this. Let me put the lid on that. Perfect for a big Easter bunny. Yes. Yes, it would be. Okay. So we're going to do this one first. And we're going to use E6000. And you know, when you can't get the lid off the E6000, jewelry tools come in handy for that. Little pliers. Okay, so here's a little hack that I did today. So, you know, these little wooden half rounds. I thought, how am I going to paint these things? So I got tape. I got painter's tape, and I turned up the edges, and then I set it down on my, stuck all the little things on there and then painted it. So that worked pretty well, except every time I touch it, I get stuck to it. So I think I'm going to get rid of these gloves and unstick them all, because that's driving me crazy. Okay, so let's unstick them. But that was a good hack, I think, for for painting half beads, half round beads. I kind of spaced them out and counted how many I needed, and then did the additional amount for the other two sides. We have some crazy projects tonight. So, you know, one of the things that I think about dopamine, you know, it's that feel good thing that happens in your brain when you're surrounded by things that you like. So my theory is that, you know, it's these influencers, these young influencers that are in love with all these bright colors and feel good things like, you know, coffee mugs and all this stuff that they're doing in their homes. And that's fine. My dopamine is different. You know, my dopamine decor is different. But, you know, they say, you know, this will give you a dopamine hit. Well, you know, it almost sounds like a drug. So it is a chemical in your brain. So now, once we get this tape out of the way, I'm going to be a lot happier. I was going to use hot glue for this. I do have the hot glue gun back there, but we're just going to, I think E6000 is better. I like to avoid using hot glue on decor projects whenever possible, just because if they sit in the sun, trying to get in the camera here. If they sit in the sun, then they are it's going to melt. So that's my feeling on that. This is just going to need a dab. And we'll do the corners first. I spaced out the ends. I think I was able to put 2 in between each of those. So I used Plum Crazy on the little buttons and Daisy on the for the yellow. Those are all Dixie Belle colors. Then on my other frame, I used I bought 1 can of Terra paint. I used that. That's Dixie Belle's clay paint, which when I was a retailer, I never sold it, but I always wanted to try it, so I bought one, and this is the color. It's this purple. And we're going to add some crazy stripes to that. So I had an inspo picture on that, which I'll show you. I think I showed you this one last week, and I was going to do some of this, and I did those picture frames a couple weeks ago, but that was kind of color inspiration anyway. Just the idea. And let me put the comments back up again so I can see you. So speaking of Easter, are you somewhat ready for Easter? We do a big Easter egg hunt for my grandkids. It's so much fun. Okay, and so for this side, it really didn't work when I put one in the middle, so I just eyeballed them. So yeah, so we fill the yard with eggs. And in some of the eggs, there's candy, the plastic eggs. In some of them, there's candy. And then in others, there's slips of paper. And on those slips of paper are clues. And it'll say, like, go look behind the front porch swing. And of course, we have 3 grandkids. So there's 2 girls and a boy. So, the boy looks for all the blue eggs. And then Lainey looks for all AJ is the boy. He's 11 now, and he looks for all the blue eggs. And of course, he's the fastest, and he finds them all. And then he helps his sisters. But they can also grab extra other color eggs too, if they want. But the gifts, the big gifts, there's candy in all the different colors, but the big gifts are in the pink and blue ones. And also, I think we do green now for Gracie. So anyway, it's a lot of fun. They have so much fun finding all their little prizes. So I have just as much fun as they do. I don't know why I have so many extra, but I'm going to scooch these up a little and put an extra one in here. Like I said, this is not something that I would put in my home. Just not into it, but I don't know who they are. Millennials, Gen Z, who is it that's into the dopamine decor? Do you know, Gretchen? Okay. So I have 2 extra, but that's okay. So that's that. We're going to let that dry. And while it's drying, I'm going to pull out, let me see. I have this peacock color here. Should have tried opening it first. And I'm going to I want to make sure that I have a flat brush. So I'm just going to use it's Gen Z. Okay. I'm just going to use a flat brush and just make some stripes. Okay, not in the window here. It's this, how Dar on Flippin' Bunch, we're always having trouble pointing. It's the same thing. You don't know where to for the land or portrait. You don't know where to put the piece. I mean, these things, I guess, look cute all together if that's your style and that's your decor. Millennials like grays. Dar would be miserable to do a piece for a millennial. Well, I still do custom orders, and I had a request to do a whitewash, and so I'll be doing that, but not exactly grayish. Not the kind of piece though that I, have all kinds of fun with. By the way, speaking of well, we weren't really speaking about embellishments, but the embellishments is coming up this weekend. And I finished, well, all my pictures are in, and I just have, and mostly voiced over. I just have to finish a little bit on the editing and I'm done. Yes, I hope it is better than grayish. Okay, so now I'm just pulling those little stripes down over the edge. I do still smell that glue. I think I'm a little, no, it's E6000 now that I'm smelling. You wait till you see one of the crazy projects that we have to do here tonight. But we're going to get them done because I have to be ready in the morning. So after I finish all my projects tonight, I have to do my nails and all that stuff. Not sure what Grizz is all excited about tonight. Okay, so that's that one. And I have the cutest little pictures to put in them. Wait till I get them. I have no idea what a millennial's design is. I'm gonna have to do this carefully, but I want you to see it. I have to hold on to the unpainted part. I can get it in there. These things are a little tricky. These are those, I know you can't see what I'm doing. Let me put the camera up. These are those Oriental Trading Company little picture frames. Eclectic design for you, Dar. I'm kind of traditional. I mean, I think I take my cue from my home. It's an older home, so that's why I go with traditional decor. Okay, I'm gonna sneeze. Here's one, and that's the iconic little I Love Lucy candy factory picture. I have a book of postcards from I Love Lucy. Oh. And let me see if I can get this one in without knocking any of those little beads off. Oh, okay. Oh, I didn't know she was in the hospital. Thank you. Well, glad she has you to take care of her. Okay, here's another one. This one is the Vitamita Vegemin. um, I like I said, I love Lucy. I'm kind of straightening some of these out. They weren't very even, but we went to the Lucy Museum, Lucy and Desi Museum in Jamestown, and in New York, and that's where she was born. And I absolutely love Lucy. I'm obsessed. But anyway, I did the Vitamita Vegemin thing. It was like a little challenge. It's somewhere on my Facebook page. I can search for it and show you that. So, okay, my son said lots of Nickelodeon used that image when he was little. Oh yeah, the Lucy one. Okay, so I'm gonna set these aside and let them dry before I keep handling them. Okay, so next project is a real silly one, but you know, we're silly here. So hang tight a second. It's right beside me. So I have this vase, just a plain glass vase. Do you love Lucy? Ah, that's cool. I mean, who can not love Lucy? I don't know. I don't know anybody that doesn't. So anyway, we're going to talk about the flowers in a minute, but first we're going to talk about the glass vase. Now, we know for Dopamine Decor, that would be pretty darn boring. So I'm going to show you a couple pictures, and see, we're going to try to simulate this. So look at these vases, and this one. So see how it's done? It's just a paper sleeve that you slide over the vessel that would hold the water, okay? So we're going to attempt that. And by the way, this was my inspiration for the wall pocket. So anyway, but yeah, we're going to attempt these vessels. And I stopped at the dollar store today. Oops, better get rid of that. Okay, I stopped at the dollar store today. Jamestown is close to our family place of origin, so I might talk my Lucy loving sister, I guess, into going with me too. Oh, it's the best. And if you can't talk her into it, I'm always up for going back. um, so I went to the Dollar Tree, and surprisingly, they still have something that's two for $1. But anyway, I got poster board, and I cut it into thirds so it would be easier to manage. Okay. And I got two pieces of it. I put the two together and then I cut them. That way I'm working with the same amount of material. So let's get crazy here. I'm going to put the camera down, and I have the Posca markers here. So we're just gonna do an outline. I'll use the broader tip, and I want to make sure that we're getting it tall enough to cover. So I'm just gonna start. So I'm just making a line, and I'm gonna come down. I mean, there's so many different kinds of styles of vases, but we'll do one that has little handles. This is probably dumb because I'm gonna have to cut it out. And then try to get this in here. Okay, so I'll put a little bit of kind of ribbed design in there. And then we can draw on there. Let's be creative. Wonder where I put the lid. Here it is. Okay. So let's, oh boy, let me think. I want to draw something that's not just like a flower, but why not? Let's just draw a flower. I'll tell you what, we'll draw a rose, and I'll make some leaves here. A couple leaves. And I don't know, I might color these in. I'm not sure yet. And I can start in the middle and kind of do a spiral and then just come around. You know, your basic rose, I guess. All right, so that's one. And you know what? You can look at the basic rose for a second, and I am gonna use some hot glue. So I'm gonna plug that in back here. Sorry. There we go. Okay. Okay, so that's one vase. So let's do another one. So that's kind of like an urn kind of thing. Let me see. Okay. Try to straighten it up. There we go. All right. Silly, right? They're silly. And then let's do another one. I'm actually going to look at the inspiration again because my brain is, okay. That one, maybe. I'm not sure how to make these bigger. Okay. Well, let me look at it again. Okay, so I guess just basic. Keep looking. All right. So I should have grabbed the black marker too. Okay, I'm just going to work with what I have here. Should have thought more and got some other ones. Okay, so again, I want to make it so it's not shorter than the vase. I'm not a very good vase designer. I'm just gonna do like a kind of a mid-century modern kind of shape, maybe. Okay, so it's crooked. If I fix that, then I mean I'm working in marker, so I'm gonna fix it though because it's crooked and it's gonna bug me. So maybe I can do that on the back side. Yeah, I'll cut it out and then I'll trace it again. But yeah. So let me put that one aside. And let's use a green here. And let's just do a tall cylinder. You'll probably think I'm nuts. Those vases shown at the mantel look like pop art to me with the black outline. Yeah. And if I had black here, it would probably. Okay, so yes, we're covering a cylinder with a cylinder, but our cylinder is gonna maybe not be a cylinder, but one of these. Oh, but I have to make sure the base is wide enough to go over the vase. Okay. So again, I kind of went over that line, but what I'm going to do is cut them. So that's going to be, I'm going to have to make that wider. I think my other ones are good there. So, I'm just doing this on one side now and making all my mistakes on this side. And then I'll cut it out and then redraw it. Okay, I think that'll work. Okay, so let me put the screen back up. Oops. And so you see what I did? Well, it's hard to see with that line, but I'm just going to cut around it and then I'll outline it again. And I'm just going to use hot glue to put these together. Yeah, I've been coming down to my little creative cave like every day and spending a couple hours down here in the morning. So I'm trying to get pieces done for the shows that are upcoming. One in Altoona on May 2nd, I believe, and then the other one at the end of May down in Virginia at Jenna Junk Princess. Okay, so this one I believe is going to be okay. And again, I messed up here, but we're going to cut it out and then we'll trace it again. This will be our wrong side. This is such a silly project, but I guess that's the idea, right? It's things that, just kind of make you smile. And I'm sure this will make somebody smile. Oh, you know what? I'm going to have a problem in there. It's going to be too narrow. But I think I'm going to, can I raise the camera? It's hard to see most of the work you're doing. I don't seem to have an option for horizontal. Okay. Yeah, let me see this. So for this one, I kind of have to do this. I'm glad you're giving me this feedback because I don't think about it. And it's probably, sometimes when viewers drop off, that's why, because they can't see. So, but what I'm going to do with this one, so I've got the shape. So even though it's going to be wider than our base, I'm just going to glue around it, if you know what I mean. So it'll still fit, but we'll just kind of have a hole in it. And then I have one more. When we see your face, it's okay. It's the above vantage. Okay. I think I know what you mean. Whenever I have the screen up, and I shall try to keep it all in mind. Okay, again, then there's this one. Gonna cut it out. And then we're gonna get the hot glue out. I'm not gonna worry about cutting the insides of those out, at least not for this moment. I'll show you here when I'm done. I suppose if, Gen Z people made instructions for these, I probably wouldn't have read them anyway, so. I hope this turns out all right anyway. Okay, So we've got this, and we've got this, and we've got this. Okay, so I'm going to switch the camera down again. And this one, I know I'm not going to have any problem with as far as gluing it, because it's just, I know it's going to be big enough. Okay, so I flipped that. So now I want to redraw my design. Let me get this out of the way. There we go. All right. Help me think. So we do flowers. Okay, the scallops. How about we do like rows of scallops or something? Here's a purple marker. And we'll just draw little designs. There's always the curvy, snaky line. And then you can put dots. I mean, this feels like a kindergarten project, kind of, but you know, I guess that's the idea. Pretty vase, a nice wine decanter, see where my head is, and simply lined vase. Love it. Okay. Well, you know, I guess if you're drinking wine, this is all going to make sense. Okay. Let's do this color, which is very close to the other one, but let's see what else is there besides there. Well, we did polka dots. How about daisies? There's always daisies. I know we said not flowers, but seems like the simpler the design, the more it makes sense with this stuff. And I'll put little yellow dots in there. More like third grade. Okay. Okay, and then I'll do one more line down here. We'll do zigzags. Okay. Now I smell the hot glue back there. Let's look at these other ones here. And I want to kind of barrel along here because I want to I want to do one other thing, because I want to do a trinket dish on the show, but I want to show you a cute one, and then I'll show tomorrow how I roll it out. So well, let's see. I don't want that sticker there. I don't know whether it'll come off or not. You know, always a challenge. Oh, it might come off. Okay. We got lucky there. Okay, so, all right. Let me line up again. Okay, so this is just basic. I think we'll just do basic, I don't know, basic, like, kind of like that outline, just stuff, just lines. That's all. That's all we're going to do. Okay, so got them up here. And let me, so here's the thing. This part's not going to work, so I'm only going to be able to do up at the top and then down at the bottom. So I have my glue back here, so I'm just gonna, I'll put the camera up so you can see that I'm not going anywhere. You can see where I'm going. Just coming back here a second. And putting my hot glue at the top and down here. Okay. Say the dopamine base prayer that this worked all right. I'm gonna do this one now. I'm gonna take a look at it and see. Okay, I'm gonna do the same thing, just up at the top and then down at the bottom. And I know what you can't see what I'm doing, but I'll explain it to you when I get over there. I hope that one doesn't cause me a problem. Okay, and one more. This one I don't need to worry about. I can do the whole side on both sides. You're like, what are you talking about, LaVon? I can't even see you. Bear with me here. Okay. I'm gonna unplug this. Okay. Alrighty. So let's see. I'll take these out for a minute here. And yes, I see what you mean. You can't see. So I'm gonna put it down and you should be able to see. Is that better? Okay. So let's hope that this glue doesn't separate. I may have been too hasty with my cutting, or I might have to get a smaller vessel. No, that could be. That's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to get a bottle that's smaller instead of this big vase, and I'll slip it down over. So that's the new plan, because this isn't going to work. So, there's always plan B. I don't have a bottle right here. I know where they are, but they're too far away for me to go get. So these are my vases, and they're gonna look cute. So these flowers, let's talk about these a minute. So these are Sola wood flowers. So I have one here that's plain, and I'll show you how I did that. This is my trick to put the screen back up. Okay. So they come like this big bag, and you just poke a wire in it, and then you put floral wire on it. At least that's what I did. So I have one here that is like a rose. These are kind of like like a mom kind of flower. And this is more of a ranunculus or a rose. Did I say that right? Bases look cute like the inspo. Oh, good. Okay. Thank you. All right. So I'm just going to, I think, get some watercolor. And since my bases are wild, and I haven't used a lot of blue, I'm going to use some blue and I knew what you meant. The base. Well, I said basis, but I knew what you meant. Just going to use a little watercolor here. I have water in here. And pick a bright blue. And let me put the screen down here. Okay, so I'm just gonna, I could dip this. I didn't put the screen down, did I? Okay, it's not letting me. What did I do? Okay, there we go. I don't know, I hit something. So I'm going to, oops, I'm just gonna paint this flower with some watercolor. Like I said, I could dip it. That would be probably a lot easier. And a lot messier. I've done that before. A long time ago, I had a guest named Dawn, and we did solar flowers that night. And we used Dixie Belle paint, and we put it in water, watered it down a little bit, and soaked them, and then let them dry overnight. But I thought this would allow me to use it quicker and maybe get some shading on it if I wanted. But I'm just throwing some color on here. I probably should use a different paint. I just use watercolor these days because it's easy and I love it. It's hard to get in all these little folds. That's why dipping might be better for this style of flower. But again, we're just messing around here with this dopamine stuff. Okay, you get the idea. I'm probably gonna, well, let me see. While I have it here, I can get a little more color on here. And of course, I'll have to do the outside because that would look kind of dumb. And that should be easier to do. So next week, I already have a plan in mind. Have you seen those canvases? I mean, I know they sell them at, Hobby Lobby and everything, but I've seen them like on Pottery Barn, and they're beautiful, just canvas with, floral designs and tapestry type designs. So I want to simulate that using painter's canvas and also maybe some paint inlays. Maybe use some decoupage because I do have, I want to use a canvas and make the Easter egg hunt sign because I have the Easter egg hunt decoupage paper from Made by Marley. So I would like to do one for Easter, but then also I want to do some other ones. So let me just give this one more once over. We almost have it. Like I said, this wasn't the easiest way to do this, but I never seem to pick the easy way. At least not when I'm live. I did, I think I did score a win with the tape and the little half round things. I think that was That was a pretty good hack. Time saving, and not messy, but we're going to go with that. Get this out of the way. So here's all you do. I cut this piece of wire off, and these, you can just poke the wire into the bottom until it sticks. You could add some glue to it. See, I thought I had it centered. That's really a problem. So right now, what are you seeing? Are you seeing the rose and a yellow pen? And right now I'm gonna lift it up and I'm wrapping floral tape. Okay, that's what you're seeing. So I just need to be mindful of that. So I'm gonna take this floral tape and wrap it around this stem, which, for the way this design is, I probably wouldn't need to even go to this trouble, but, trying to make it look somewhat realistic. But I'm just wrapping this around here. I'm going to hold it and twist it. Maybe that'll go quicker. And I can scoot it back up. And then kind of squeeze it, because floral tape's weird. It's like not sticky, but yet it will stick, if that makes any sense. But if you're used to working with it, see, this isn't going so well, but I'm not being patient though. I kind of want to get this part of it over with. But this is what you end up with. Oh my gosh, this is a challenge. Okay, there's the flower. There, can you see the stem? That's what you end up with. Okay. I appreciate you ladies being patient with me and kind of training me. Okay, I'm really making a hot mess of this. So probably gonna squish it and then go over it again. But I think I'll tear this off at the moment, and then we'll just see that this is what our little group of flowers is going to look like in one of our vases. So let's move on to something else here, because I spent far too much time on these flowers, and it's 7:58. But never fear. Gonna get some of this stuff out of the way and grab some clay, because I wanted to do something really cute. Hopefully there's enough clay in there to do that. I have some older clay in here, and I'm tempted to try this DOS Smart. This is somewhat pliable in here. I don't know. Let me grab some new. So I have this big hunk in here, this big hunk, and I'm going to try this DOS Smart and see if I can get it soft again. It's not totally terrible. Yeah, I don't know whether this is going to be enough, but this is nice and soft. The way clay should be. But what I'm doing is taking this mold. Now I'm frozen. Okay, there we go. And just going to use some cornstarch. Hopefully there's enough for this. Yeah, I mean, I put it in horizontal and vertical. So I don't know why it's all in vertical. I'm not happy about that. Okay, this is not going to be enough clay for this. I suppose I could open up a new package, but I don't really want to do that. Let's see if I can salvage any out of here that's pliable. I can kind of tell by the color of it. The more it dries, it gets whiter. Okay. I'm just seeing if I could get this a little bit looser because it's going to crack if it's. I do have a brand new package sitting here. I'm gonna grab it. I wanted to be able to show them an unopened package, but I'm just gonna grab a hunk out of here. I wish there was another way, a better way to do this. I'm sure there is. Okay. I only found one link for this. Last week I found two. Okay, maybe I goofed or it deleted because I don't know whether it's been acting up and doing it. I know, we've had, so many troubles over the last while back with it. I'm gonna smooth this out then. Well, that's a bummer. I am bumming it. That's what's happening tonight. You know what, though? Sometimes you just have to roll with it, So tomorrow when I'm on the show, we're going to roll out a little clay, and then we're just going to use a cookie cutter. We're going to use this little flower one and shape it. So. This month has been nothing but trouble all around. Technology, work, health. Oh. But I see your sunflower filling with clay. Well, that's good. Glad you can see it. Okay. I'm just going to take my little roller. I should probably put cornstarch on it. I just thought I would do this to flatten it out a tad. I probably need more clay in the middle there. It's like I pulled some out, so put it in the middle. This is probably never going to dry overnight, but maybe. I think pretty sure my little cabbage leaf dried like within a couple hours, so well, thanks, Gretchen. And I always get the hosts to help. That way, it shows that it's not just me, like that has these magic powers. Oh, you're an artist. You know what to do with it. It's anyone can do it. All right. So let's flip it over. This might be another one of those fails. Okay, we have a sunflower, but I have extra clay here. Okay, so the last time I did this, I used saran, and I didn't bring any down with me. So I'll make sure that I do. But I have this little bowl, which is a little, and this time I'm going to put the curve, I'm going to leave the pretty side, with the curve, because, if I put it on the underside, it would be nice and smooth on the inside, but to truly appreciate the sunflower, I think that the sunflower should be what's up. So anyway, it's going to get curved. Maybe I'll pick a different bowl up there. Or maybe just that this is enough, Maybe I'll just try it like this and see what happens, because that way the air is kind of circulating around. And these edges, that can be sanded off later. So I'm going to push down a tad and push in a little. So I don't want a big curve. So maybe we'll just do this. And let's just hope that it doesn't stick to the bowl. It's marble, so I kind of doubt that it will. So hopefully that'll dry tonight. I can take it on the show tomorrow and show it, but we'll have them roll one out. I like it, but that's why that's the way they look before the sun is perfectly straight in the sky anyway. Okay, I'll buy that. All right, well, it's 8:08, and once again, time flies when you're having fun. I appreciate you joining me, and thanks for all the input, and I'll make sure that we have it right next week. All right. Well, looking forward to seeing you tomorrow night. Also on Flippin' Bunch, we have a guest, Dawn from Shabby Meets Bling, and that'll be lots of fun. So we have all kinds of questions for her. And if you haven't seen her channel yet, maybe check it out tonight or sometime before the show tomorrow night, so you can truly appreciate the person that is Dawn. All right. Well, thanks so much again. And I just love you guys, and I hope you have a wonderful night. All right. Take care. Bye.